morning. Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to first thank Doug for inviting me to come speak about my book, The Game of Remembrance. My book weaves together spirituality, science, and psychology in a very easy to understand way. I use video game language to make big truths feel approachable and help people see life a little differently. Since the book covers a lot, soul design, belief systems, healing, and so much more, I had to pick what to talk about today, which wasn't quite easy. So I asked myself, what could help everyone today? And I realized I had to go back to why I wrote the book and how I came to this information. So let me take you back to the moment for me when everything changed. I married my best friend, Jack. He was my world.
Is this Jack?
This is not Jack.
I'm just double checking. Make sure you know where we're at.
Yes. He was my world. And a month later, after we got married, he got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. He went from being the strongest man I knew to being completely dependent on me. And in just 4 short months, he passed away. I went from wife to caregiver to widow in 5 months. My world collapsed. I was alone. My family didn't live nearby. And I felt like I was drowning. But the grief felt completely different than what I expected it to feel like. It felt deeper, stranger, and much more transformative. I was having many experiences I couldn't explain. Many I couldn't believe. The day after he passed, something extraordinary happened. I felt like there was electricity running through my head. Like as if my hardware had been upgraded, but the software had not been installed. Most of my beliefs were stripped from me, and I didn't know where to actually stand. I had no foundation. My cognitive function was low. I couldn't think normally. I couldn't process things different. I couldn't process anything, honestly. But somewhere in that experience, I knew that something bigger was happening. The information started coming through me that I knew I couldn't have made up. It didn't sound like me. It was wiser, ancient, and much more deeper than I've ever been in my life. I would read my own writing and feel like it came from somewhere beyond me. My mind was processing big world questions while trying to navigate this horrendous loss. I was being changed in real time, and in that moment, I knew I would never be the same. The universe placed me in a still cocoon for months. No work, no distractions, no family close by, so I had nothing but time, space, and silence. And that's when the downloads and the lessons started to begin. I was receiving information, teachings I've never heard of, intuitively understood. I was being directed to research topics and people that I've never even heard of. I was being guided to do things for healing. One of those things was tapping on my chest. I felt like I had to beat the emotions out of me, not violently, but like a monkey. And can you imagine? I'm walking around the house just banging on my chest. At the time, I felt almost like an idiot, but something inside me knew that this was what I needed. Later on, I find out that that's a method called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. I promised Jack I would live my best life for him. And I was determined to do whatever I had to do to heal this pain. I saw acupuncturists. I went to energy healers. I've been to psychics, regular therapy, spiritual therapy. I was guided the whole way. I didn't even know what I was doing until the moment I was doing it, because I had to surrender. I had to completely surrender to what was happening because I had no idea. I've never experienced this before. I didn't know what I was doing. So So I just trusted the voice inside me when it told me to go to the places that I had high memories with him, to heal those places. I went to St. Augustine, which is where he proposed, where we shared our first date, and the universe guided me through the day. I was stopped at a museum, which a person that he knew, like, it was just very interesting. Another widow came into my space. I walked through and was guided through so many different signs and emotional experiences that some people would have shut down. An older version of me would have shut down and not shared that with anyone. But I sat there right on the pier, or not the pier, but on a bench right at St. Augustine, and I cried. I listened to music that was guiding me through this emotion. I even sat at a tree. They're like, you need to go touch the tree. And I went and I put my hands on that palm tree and I just swayed and I just listened. And I just knew that I was being healed real time. I gave myself permission for the first time in my life to be and do whatever I felt was needed without judgment and only with love. I really think that's what really propelled me to be able to go through this process, even challenged and difficult, but supported. The universe and Jack was always giving me everything I would need to not only survive, but to transform. The cocoon became my classroom. The grief became my guide. And these tools helped me to keep the promise I made Jack, to create a life he would love to watch me live and maybe even live through me. So I'm going to take us way off this emotional roller coaster and try to make this a little bit more fun, because nobody wants to listen to all that all the time. How many of you have ever played a video game? Okay. What are some of your favorite video games that you guys have played?
Mario.
There you go. Zelda. They're all classics, right? So what's the point of a video game, though? It is to gain skills. It is to beat levels, face your enemies, and have some fun, right? That's what a video game is for. Have you ever, as you were playing, have you ever stopped to think about the avatar you were playing? Have you ever stopped to think about how it'd feel for them to fail? Probably not, because you know that they're going to respawn and they're going to do the level again, and it's fine. Like, you have no sense of time. So you always trust that they'll have another chance. But what if your soul designed your life the same way, with a game with challenges, quests, and a path to mastery? And just like in those games, your soul doesn't judge how long it takes you to learn the lesson. It gives you another lesson until you do. So also come here, want to experience the extremes. You don't just pick an easy game, right? You're picking things that challenge you when you play a video game, or have an experience that you wouldn't have in the reality that you're in. But Earth, Earth is the most advanced level of the game. It doesn't just pick, it's just like you don't pick easy games. This Earth comes with high emotions and lows. It comes with density and karma. And it comes with the ultimate twist, amnesia. You forget that you're even playing the game. But this game is the ultimate act of love from Source. You can live as a monk or a thief.
Or a monk thief.
Or a monk thief. You can choose to live in a city or a jungle. Source doesn't care. It doesn't judge. It just wants to support you on your path with unconditional love. Every reality is just as important as the next. Your soul chose your avatar. Just like selecting a character in the game, it decides your traits, your nervous system sensitivities, your core wounds, and your greatest strengths. Your soul also selected your family, not out of convenience, but because they help build those early programs that you want to go through. You might choose trauma or illness or abandonment, not as punishment, but as training for your resilience, compassion, or mastery. You choose your default settings, like high empathy, fierce independence, or deep intuition, as well as certain vulnerabilities to work through. You select quests like learning self-worth, breaking patterns of silence, or healing ancestral lines. And your gifts, they are your bonus skills. Some you're born with, and others you unlock as you move through different levels of the game. Your place and time of birth, that's like choosing your game map and difficulty mode. Ancient temple time, revolution era, cyber city, each one of these shape your experience. And your human body, it's self-healing, regenerating, a conscious, connective VR suit that can replicate itself far beyond any kind of technology that we've even been able to accomplish today, even though it seems like we're getting kind of close. But it has limitations. It can only process what you focus on. Like eating a meal while scrolling. How many of you have ever ate a meal and are scrolling on your phone? Have you tasted the food? Have you felt the warmth of it in your mouth? Have you smelt it and appreciated that it's there in front of you?
No, I'm too busy
Scrolling, right? But when you change your focus, you change your experience. To protect itself, the avatar built the ego. It automates patterns for survival. Most of these are formed between the ages of 0 and 7 when we're in a theta brainwave, downloading everything like software. At this age, children do not have a filter or critical thinking, so they absorb everything like a sponge. And they think everything is the truth. So if someone tells you you're too much or not enough, or that love is conditional, that becomes part of your internal coding. Your avatar adopts not what is true, but what is safe.
Amen.
These early codes often run silent in the background, shaping your responses, your fears, your sense of worth, and even your relationships, until you become aware of them and can choose to rewrite the program. Exactly. Many of these programs are outdated. It's like trying to run your life on an old DOS computer on dial-up.
Disk operating system.
And it brings us to the foundation of what creates your reality, your experience, your beliefs. Your beliefs tell your subconscious what type of experience to create. Beliefs are your filters. If you believe the world is dangerous, your avatar renders threats. If you believe it's supportive, you will see synchronicities and opportunities. Your avatar can only process what your beliefs say are important. Everything else gets filtered out. So let me ask you all a question. How many of you can tell me how many red cars you saw on the way here today? No one. Because the information wasn't important. Yeah. So your brain just filters it out as not necessary information for your survival.
Is that using your activated system? Just say maybe.
Maybe. Beliefs also act like a magnet. When you're living in fear, you're going to tend to attract more situations that confirm your fear. If you're grounded in gratitude, you'll begin to notice that more things will come in that you're thankful for. Your energy is like a signal. You're constantly broadcasting. And the world around you responds to that. Whatever emotion you're tuned into is what you're most likely going to see, feel, and receive. It's not just what you think. It's your frequency that holds the shape of your experience. Most of us are running on autopilot, using beliefs we never questioned, beliefs inherited from our family, shaped by our environment, and absorbed through trauma. Agreed. And yet these invisible codes silently steer our decisions, emotions, and reality until we remember that we have the power to rewrite them. So how do you take back this controller? Well, you can either embody the beliefs of the version of the person you want to become, or you can use your triggers to find and upgrade the beliefs that are holding you back. Triggers are your cheat codes. They're not just your emotional outbursts, they're invitations to deeper awareness. If you drop your keys and spiral into frustration, maybe it's not the keys at all. Maybe it's about your childhood memory of being yelled at for making mistakes. Maybe it's the buried belief that you're not allowed to be imperfect. And every moment of disorder activates that wound. Most people never question these reactions. They think they're just how we are. But what if you're actually old code still running the system? What if it's every trigger is a breadcrumb your soul left for you, not to punish you, but to help you break free? If your inner world creates your outer world, why not reprogram it with peace and love? So how do you rewire these beliefs?
Go to church.
That works for some. But it really is a connection with you and yourself. So in order for you to shift these old codes when they show up, I call this like a reprogramming sequence. It starts with your first step. You need to observe what happened. What emotions arose?
11:02 a.m.
Ooh, it's 11:02.
Surprise.
What belief might be behind that reaction? Get curious, not critical. This is important because you have to face yourself, and most people don't want to confront their own flaws. They want to bury them down and pretend that they're perfect. But in order for you to change, you got to be really honest with yourself. Ask yourself if you're reacting to the moment or just something deeper that's triggered. After you observe it, you want to feel it. Feel it fully. Let the emotion move through your body. You're not broken. You're releasing stored energy. Cry, shake, tap, scream into a pillow, whatever it helps to move, because emotion is energy in motion. And it must flow to be transformed. Energy is stored in the body even after the mind forgets. Then you want to challenge the belief. What is this belief trying to protect you from? When did it first show up? Is it really true? Or is it something that you once needed to survive? Name it. Talk to it. Let it know you're safe now. And then you rewire it. Choose a new belief to replace the old one that aligns with the version of you that you want to be. Speak the new belief out loud. Write it down. Feel the truth of it in your body. Use affirmations like I'm safe to change, or I am worthy. You can use visualization, like picturing a reality with this new belief. How will you feel? How will you act? Use somatic tools like breath work, tapping, or body movement. Or you can use subconscious reprogramming to rewire it instantly. But that's not enough because it's not just in the mind. It has to come through your physical body in order to come into your reality, right? So it's almost like you have two different bodies. You have your mind and then you have your physical body. So once you heal it in the mind, now you have to anchor it in your body by doing the correct actions, right? Align your actions with that new belief. Take one step that reflects that new belief. This could be setting a boundary, saying no, celebrating yourself. Don't just think differently. Act from this new reality. This is how your nervous system catches up and rewires it in real time. You create art before you're an artist. The reality responds to your embodiment. It starts in the mind and then heals in the body. The body is like your scorekeeper, the physical representation of your internal world. Now, after everything I've experienced, the heartbreak, the unexpected awakening, and the transformation, I was guided to start a healing practice and create a new method of healing. Combining energy healing and subconscious reprogramming, I call it quantum reprogramming because it reprograms the hardware and the software on a quantum level to heal the body, mind, and soul. This method wasn't something I created from a manual. It was born from direct experience, from listening deeply to what worked for me and watching what truly helped others transform. I knew I had tapped into something powerful, something that went beyond traditional talk therapy or energy work alone. I've been a Reiki master for a long time, but I was too afraid to start my own practice before my transformation. Another belief I had to get rid of. And now they wanted me to try something that was never done before. I didn't know how it would look or if it would even work. But I trusted the inner nudges and leaps. I mean, it's got me this far, right? So might as well keep going. I opened my practice right here in Fleming Island, and the clients started to come. One after one, they had miraculous results. Some people were able to shift their reality overnight. It wasn't only fast, but it was gentle on the body. I've watched people shift patterns they thought they'd carry forever. I've seen families change because one person said yes to healing. And that's the power of leveling up. The ripples reach way far beyond you. When you anchor a new belief, you level up, and the ripples affect everyone around you. The vibration shifts, and the others around you to begin to feel that shift, even if they don't understand it. It creates a new energetic blueprint for how others can show up in your field. And it doesn't just stop in the now. It heals your lineage, both forward and backward. You release ancestral burdens that you were never meant to carry, and you prevent future generations from inheriting the same programs that no longer serve human evolution. Breaking the cycles. One choice to heal becomes a turning point for your entire bloodline. So how do you break the cycle? Or this is how you break the cycles. Now let's zoom out one more time. Why play the game at all?
I don't know.
The game isn't meant to be easy. It's meant to evolve you. Like any good video game, the challenges aren't roadblocks. They're part of your expansion. Every obstacle, every failure, every moment of resistance is a mirror showing you who you truly are on your inside. Will you avoid the lessons and repeat the cycle? Or will you face your shadows and integrate the pain and bring them to the light? Because that's what this game really is about. Not beating the level, but transforming through it. Yes, feeling through it. So, are you powerless? And is the world working against you? Or is everything working for you to grow to your highest self? Either way, you're right. The universe will always reflect your beliefs in your reality. You are co-creating with your soul. Every thought, feeling, and decision becomes part of your custom designed adventure. Remember those adventure books where you used to have to flip through? You're creating it real time. You're not just the avatar. You are the player too. And just remember, doing nothing is still a choice to stay where you are. And if that feels aligned, honor it. But if there's something inside you stirring, asking for more, that's your signal. So what do you want to experience? What reality do you want to create? So I'm going to pause. And I'm going to give everybody, some time. Do you guys have questions about what I had just? Sure. Oh, thank you. Oh my God.
You had Dark Night of the Soul.
Yeah, I did.
And that's what you're awakening. Dark Night of the Soul is like it's like a tarot card moment. But then when it's over, you're just like.
But I want to
happen for my greater good.
And it did. I do want to tell people who are going through their spiritual awakening that the Dark Night of the Soul is not a once and done type of thing either. I mean, the universe is kind and gives you breaks in between, but it doesn't stop. But there is usually the big one, like you said, like a bigger one that kind of gets rid of all of the stuff that's no longer serving you, at least at a survival level. And then
nothing can bother you. You're like, it's all happening to me. Nothing else matters. Great.
Yes.
I don't care what happens anymore.
Which is a mental thing too, right? Because remember how I told you that your body is a separate piece to it. So there's been times in my experience where I'm like, well, why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? We got the mind in place. Like, why are you still upset? Like, calm down. We're fine. And you have to, especially if you've been through major traumas, right? Your nervous system is so like, what's safe? Oh my God, am I going to die? Am I going to lose everything again? Am I going to have to build, so you have to work on your body too. It's not just all a mindset. That's why when I created the quantum, I don't want to say I created it. I feel weird saying I created it because all I did was bring through into this, world what it was. But I realized that one without the other, it wasn't as effective. Like when you're doing energy work, you're healing the body, which is great, right? But if your mind is still doing the same things, it's going to put the same things back in your body. If you heal the mind with subconscious reprogramming, you still have to leave it out of your body, right? So by combining the two, it allows people to have more of an immediate, instant release, which doesn't have as hard. It's not as hard as the body. Because trust me, I've done the reprogramming myself, and I've actually did some of this subconscious reprogramming even before my husband had passed to heal from my trauma before even meeting him. So that's where I realized how well it worked. But doing it yourself, even though it works, it's a little bit slower because again, you're catching up your body. So that takes a little bit more time.
Can you teach this course here in the church? Possibility?
I have, here's the second person who's asked me to teach it. I have not gotten to a point yet to have it in an organizational structure that I could teach it yet. But I think that will be coming. I feel that's coming. I haven't really been guided yet to create it, but once I do, I feel like that's probably coming in the future. Yes.
How do you reprogram the subconscious?
So the subconscious, think of it like most people are familiar with hypnosis, right? But a lot of people think hypnosis is something different than it really is. Hypnosis is getting down to getting someone in such a relaxed state that they're in like a theta brainwave. And that when they're in that state, then you can do suggestion. So what I do is I will get somebody into that state and basically reprogram their mind. I'll replace when we talk, we come up with what the belief is that we need to figure out how to get rid of, and then we replace it with something that's better serving. And by doing that, when they're in the theta brainwave, it seems like when they feel an immediate effect, but it really doesn't take effect till the next day. Like think of like going to sleep is like rebooting your computer. Right? That's kind of what's happening. Your short-term memory is moving to your long-term memory, and your brain is like processing everything from the day. So I feel like most people don't have as much of an impact to the next day. I've actually had a couple people where I call it the theta flu. When you're pulling out a belief that's really, really deep, the next day the body, even though this is more gentler, it's still, the body still has to recalibrate every cell. Like every cell of your body needs to be on this new program. So sometimes people might get a little achy the next day or feel like sleepy, but it usually resolves within 24 hours.
So it's similar to herpes.
It's very similar to theta healing. So there's a theta healing process. So it combines a lot of the logic in that.
Okay.
And then mixes it with energy healing.
And if you would ever teach, you can spend an hour or 2 or 4 just talking. It doesn't have to be super organized here.
Okay.
You know, as in start with A, start with B. You can have a discussion, and we can ask you questions about it. You just talk about it. You don't have to really be more prepared than you are now.
I feel that I agree with you. My nervous system, though, needs to be a little bit more prepared.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Everybody's different.
No, and the thing is, because the way I do it is so intuitive.
Oh, that's fine.
I want to make sure that when I'm educating people, that they understand the nuances of it, and tap them into that. So I want to make sure I want to be very responsible on teaching this the right way.
Be more irresponsible.
Yes. So that can be true. So I plan on doing something, but we will get there.
It's fine. Just know that we're interested based on what you said.
Well, I appreciate it. I'll be honest, I never thought I would be doing this.
Why not?
A lot of it was belief systems.
You didn't think it was possible.
I didn't think, well, you go into imposter syndrome too. Like, who am I? Like, who am I to bring this information to you? Like,
your faith.
Yeah, like I might have experienced it, but that's my experience, right? Like your journeys are much different than mine. And I'm a Reiki master. Like I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm not here saying that I've done research and I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done research, but I use the research to validate my book, to validate my information. I didn't use that information to create it. Which again made me feel a little way because I'm like, well, who are you to write this big, I mean, the book goes in, like, this is just like a surface level piece of the book, but the book goes into some deep stuff, and it's like, well, who are you to talk about the creation of life and the, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yep. So we had to get through that and understand, and I had to finish up some of my pieces too. Like I said, it's like you ride this wave. At first, the waves are real big, right? And then as you start coming, they start balancing out a little bit. But I felt this information was too important not to share. And when I went through the dark night of the soul, that went through my grief, all this information was being thrown at me, like way big information, even more information than I could even include in my book, because I wanted to make my book very easy to understand, no matter what level you were at. So the book it's a living book. It actually will grow with you. So if you're at just starting off, you'll get something out of it. If you're at a higher, because it'll meet you wherever you're at, whatever consciousness you're at, that's what information is going to be downloaded through the book to you. So it's something that's evolving with you. And I also designed it so that you can literally be like, all right, I just want to open it up and get some advice, and you can just open it up and read it too. So it's can be used however you feel you need to use it during your journey, because it isn't about me. But when all this information came out, I was like, yes. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. So I have the Game of Remembrance is the book that I'm talking about today. The Change book was a collaboration that I did with a whole bunch of other authors. I did a chapter in there regarding how I came about the quantum reprogramming. So today I did bring some books. The Game of Remembrance is on Amazon, but I have copies here today if anybody's interested. And I get really weird still about the signing. I will more than happy and honored to sign any books that you want. I just feel weird saying that I'll sign them. That's another belief and ego thing I'm still working on. But yes, I'm more than happy to sign any of the books.
How much are your 2 books?
So on Amazon,
right now
so this one I have 4 copies here with me today. Whoever gets the first 4 of these, I'm going to give away this book with this book. This book isn't on Amazon. This one you have to order directly through like my website. But I just have a chapter in here that talks about the quantum reprogramming, how that came about. The Game of Remembrance is on Amazon. It's $15.55 for the paper copy. Today I'm going to give it, I'm offering them for $10 to try to give you all guys, you're the first place I came to speak. You might as well get a discount. So I want to thank you guys really, like, for welcoming me here to talk about this, and like I said, it's been a journey for me for sure. Like I was pushing back on the book. Like I was like, I don't want to write a book. Like I'm not a writer. I hate writing. But it's the other thing that I've learned is when it's time, it happens, regardless of if you want it or not. So keep your mindset good so that you can just flow through it, because otherwise you just push back, and it's amazing. It's just amazing how it all really works. I feel I'm a completely different person than I was before.
You probably don't talk about it, so what you haven't talked about today, in your opinion, what are dreams?
I think dreams can be a variety of things. Dreams could be your subconscious's way of processing things that wouldn't process through the day. So it runs you through a simulation, right? Or it could be that you're, working on something in the future. I don't know what that was. You're working, it depends on the person. Like everybody's different. Some people are a little bit more advanced and they can go into, working with their soul in their dreams. Some can, some just put it on the background as like entertainment for your soul, like your consciousness while your soul's doing something different. So it all varies.
Have your dreams changed? It's okay to say
yes and no. Weirdly enough, I don't remember a lot of my dreams. when they happen, but I remember them when they're happening. So I have a lot of prophetic dreams, but I don't really remember them when I have them, if that makes sense.
Fine. I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm.
I can confirm you complete different person now than you was before. Because I remember you was coming to me
Mm-hmm.
the time that your first husband died.
Yes.
And you was so, in grief and all this, and came to me many, many times, and I can see the transformation before and after.
Well, I appreciate that, and some of this has to do with you as well, like your work with me in the beginning stages, because, like I said, I didn't have anyone. I didn't have anyone at home. Like it was me and 2 dogs for months. So the only people I really was out seeing were you. I got to see Jess. She comes here every once in a while. She does past life regression. Like I said, all of you guys, I thank you so much for being the light for me when I needed it. You're welcome. Yes.
And not to ask too many questions.
Yeah.
Have your food changed?
Yes.
Choices changed?
Yes, 100%.
So,
I'm not like vegan. I still can't get past, like, I love bacon. But I definitely don't, like, I don't eat fast food very rarely. Every once in a while, like if I get like I haven't had this, but I've noticed my body wants cleaner food.
so do you cook more?
Yes. Mm-hmm. My husband cooks more.
Okay. A or B.
Yes. But that's, I mean, I can go even into like more of the stuff than afterwards. Like I said, I got to meet John that was sent to me. Like the experiences I've had are just, it is like stuff like you never would have thought was possible, like really possible, but it all went around my beliefs. If I didn't change my belief to open up to allow all of this stuff into me,
you'd have the same life. You'd be stuck at where you were at.
Correct. I've seen it. My own father, when my mom passed, like he's been stuck in that same loop for 23 years. And I tried to, I'm like, dude, you got to do something that makes you happy. Like, do you think she'd want you like this? But some people are just stuck in their beliefs, and you got to love them where they're at. But that doesn't mean that you have to stay there. Like I said, if I wasn't open to the experience, if I would have shut down the day that he died and not been like, all right, give it to me, give me everything you want to give me, I will be open, I will play with it, I will try to process it, I'll do it all, I wouldn't have had the most magical, and that's the only way I can describe it, magical experiences. Things that are so, like I said, ones that I can't even explain, that almost beat the laws of physics. Like I'm blessed that I got to come out this way versus the other way.
And another question, in your opinion, what is love? Because love is hard to explain, even though people use it all the time,
Correct.
especially in our new age physical.
Correct. So I've had actually a lot of time to think about that question, actually, because a lot of people see lust as love, right? I did for much of my life. That primal energy, right? That's love.
Me want.
Yes. But it really comes down to being able to, I think it first comes with you. It first starts with how much you can love yourself, how much you can have healthy boundaries for you, how you can support you. People say, oh, I love myself. I went and got my nails done. I went and got my hair done. And I'm like, I'm not saying those aren't good things to do for yourself, but that's not it. That's like the first layer of self-love, right? You need to be able to be your authentic self because everything's frequency, right? So if we stay, in my book, I talk about the different emotional frequencies, right? Guilt, grief, shame, all of those. When you're sitting in those lower vibrations, you're not actually being you. You're putting on these beliefs. So when you can, the best thing you can do for yourself is to be your authentic version of you, the one that God created. Every time you start trying to cut off pieces of your puzzle piece to fit people take their puzzle pieces off to create a box so that they can fit in with everybody else. But it's those edges that's the important part. It's the edges that make you, the snowflake, right? And you have a specific purpose. Like, and it doesn't have to be these grand, like writing a book. Like, it doesn't have to be that. It is just how you are every day with the people around you. Are you giving them unconditional love and support? Are you giving yourself unconditional love and support? Because that's where it really needs to start. Most people don't. Most people have no idea how to unconditionally love themselves and their bodies, because that's part of them. So I think love really has to do with choosing you. And then once you can really choose you, then aligning with the people that choose you in that same aspect, and then showing them that same love and support. And it's just being able to let people be people and love them for who they are, not for the version of you that you've created or version of them that you've created.
Not pretending to be a box when you're still.
Exactly. Because you're missing out on all the people that were supposed to be touching your edges. Yes. You don't want to, I fit in with these boxes. Well, you weren't supposed to fit in with those people. You were supposed to be able to touch these people. And if you don't let yourself go where you're being pulled and be you, then you're if I didn't show up in my snowflake form, I wouldn't be here with you guys. Right? I wouldn't be here to tell you all of this stuff. So you have that same power in your everyday. Every person you smile at the coffee shop, right? Just that simple smile. I know that sounds dumb, but you're putting out that energy. And all energy you put back comes back to you. So if you're doing things that are supporting you, you're going to bring back support. If you're doing things that are hurting you, trying to manipulate people or trying to convince them to do certain things because it makes you feel safe or whatever, that's going to bring that back to you from other people, right? Because everyone's just a mirror of you. It's how you want to decide to look at yourself in that mirror. Correct. And the sophistication, if you really sit and think of how this game functions, right? All of us had to come in this room and connect today. The energy that's working is just so intelligent and it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain it into words of just how magnificent this game really is.
So
not saying it's easy.
Who wrote the game?
I feel like the game is a combination, is being written I think there's a lot of people that are writing the game. And I don't want to say people is probably the wrong word, but source is your ultimate, we'll say energy source. Your soul chose to design this experience for you in the way that you feel will help you grow, right? So they have a set standpoint. Jack's death for me was going to be that was a thing. I wasn't getting past it. It didn't matter how I was going to handle it. But it was something I had to go through. But I had the choice of how I was going to go through it. Was I going to go through it with open eyes and love for everyone? Or was I going to go through it with grief and pain and everybody's hurting me? And you know what I mean? It's all about how you choose. That's your free will. Your free will is how you show up to play. It's not so much, you don't get to really choose what the challenge is, right? When you go get your game of Mario, you don't get to, they do have games now that you can create your own levels, but normally you don't get to choose the level, right? It's how you show up in the level. that you get to choose. And that's the same thing here. All right. Well, I just wanted to leave everybody with one last thing. Your soul didn't come here to play safe. It came here to play it real. And the moment you remember is the moment that your game changes. So free your mind and elevate your life. And I thank you all for having me. I really appreciate it. You're welcome.